Hi, today I'm going to take a woman's blouse and turn it into a memory bear, a keepsake bear. If you've watched any of my videos, you may have noticed that I make memory bears. Somebody has sent me this shirt and asked me to create a memory bear in honor of their mother. This is the shirt that they sent. It has some lace detail around the collar and it has some buttons up the front. They asked that both of those items could be included into the bear. It's not a very large shirt, so we're going to have to do some creative cutting to make sure that we have enough material to complete the memory bear. If you don't know what a memory bear is a stuffed bear that is typically made from someone's clothing, or it could be a blanket, something that was special. So a lot of times the clothing that I receive is from people who have had a family member pass away and they want to have something created to remember them and something that they can display and hold and just a keepsake and memorial of a loved one. So today I'm going to create a bear in memory of someone's mom. So the first step is I'm going to go over to my cutting mat. I'm going to take the shirt and I'm going to cut up the seams so that I can have some flat pieces of fabric to work with, and then I'm going to trace my pattern, add some interfacing, and cut those out. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm over here on my cutting board and I have the shirt. I'm just going to lay it flat and I'll show you where I like to put the cuts so that I can use all the fabric. So I'm going to cut right here where the arm is, the sleeve. And I know they want to use this collar, so I'm going to just cut around, giving myself some extra room. Cut the other side of the sleeve. And that way you have a nice, flat, usable piece of fabric. I'm going to cut the other sleeve. And then to open the shirt up completely, I'm just going to cut along the side seams. Whenever I make a memory bear, I always make sure to ask what items they would like to be included, if there's something specific they want me to add or keep, or just so I can get an understanding of what part of the shirt is important and what they envision the completed bear to be. I know these buttons are important and the collar. So as I'm laying my pattern pieces on the shirt, I'm going to do so in a way that I can imagine where I'm going to place these. The pattern that I use, the belly, is completed by using 2 pieces with a center seam. So I'm going to cut the buttons out. So I think what I would like is for the belly of the bear to mimic exactly what the shirt looked like. Where the head connects with the body, I'll need there to be just a little bit of regular fabric and then the lace. This way, when I take my belly piece, I can give myself a good amount of room up around the top. So to attach this piece of fabric to this piece, I'm just going to use a little bit of heat and bond. It's going to be sewn again when I get to the machine, but this is just to give me some temporary adhesive. It can be used permanently, but I'll reinforce it with stitches. Okay, I'll let that cool. And then I'll do it to the other side as well. And the first memory bear I ever made was for myself, was out of my son's clothes. Since then, I've made so many memory bears for all sorts of people, for all sorts of different reasons. I have made a memory bear out of a school jersey, a high school jersey for a graduate. I've made memory quilts. I made a memory quilt once using a lady's son's clothing from birth all the way to when he was 18, and I made a giant quilt using all of those different clothing for him to go to college. Typically, memory bears are made to honor somebody who has passed away. It can be a humbling experience to make a memory bear. It's a very personal item of clothing or a fabric, and to have somebody trust you with that, it's an irreplaceable item. And so whenever I make memory bears, I take great care to treat the item delicately, use the item as much as I can, so that when I give them the completed bear, they no longer miss the shirt. Instead, they now have something soft, something cuddly that they can hug and hold and display, and I hope that it brings them some joy and some peace. Most of the people that I've made memory bears for, well, I say most, all of the people that I've made memory bears for have told me how healing it is for them. A lot of times I think when people pass away, those special items of clothing, you keep them, but you're not sure what to do with them. Maybe they hang in a closet, or maybe they're boxed up. And you know that they're there, but you don't really get to enjoy them. You don't get to see them and be reminded of that person. So having a memory bear made is a great way to honor somebody who has passed away and keep that special item, that shirt or those pants or that dress that reminds you of them, to keep it there with you. I've wondered what people do with the bears that I've made for them. I've had some tell me that they keep them on their bed, or they have them on a shelf in their living room. Have you had a memory bear made? If so, let me know in the comments. Where do you like to display your memory bear? Do you keep it out where you see it every day? Is it something that you keep maybe in your room, something that's just for you? I know they can be a very personal treasured item. There is times when memory bears are made for other reasons. Like I said, babies getting older, children getting older, and parents wanting to hold on and celebrate that special time. Some people make memory bears out of wedding dresses to celebrate again and remember that special time. And they're all great reasons to have a memory bear made. But I get emotional talking about memory bears. And I don't know why, but when I get emotional, sometimes I guess it makes me nervous, so it makes me, I don't know. Okay. Making a memory bear out of someone's clothing who has passed away, those bears are just a little bit more special, I think, since it is something so treasured and so cherished, and it's very satisfying to be able to create something for somebody using those items. Yeah. So this should be dry now. Let me show you the next step. So what I'm envisioning is I'm going to trace around so that the front of the bear will have this nice collar on both sides, and then once I have the seam down the middle, I will go back and reattach the button strip. You can use whatever you want to trace on your clothing. I'm going to add some interfacing. This is a bit of a thinner material, and it's got some stretch, and I don't want the bear to be distorted. So before I cut out my pieces, before I trace my pieces, I'm going to go ahead and add some interfacing. Depending on the fabric you're using, interfacing isn't always necessary. Some people don't like to use interfacing at all on their memory bears. I find it gives it just enough structure when I'm cutting it that it doesn't stretch, and when I'm stitching it, it doesn't get distorted. But this is a very lightweight interfacing, so it's very bendy, it's very soft. And I don't find that the completed bear feels stiff or hard. It still retains that soft quality. Okay, and I'm just going to trace my pieces. For the back, it's also 2 pieces. I'm going to try and find a spot that is large enough so that I can trace and flip, and then when I stitch them together, it will maintain the pattern that's on the back of the shirt. I really want to make sure that the collar is going to line up. So I'm going to cut this piece out. Okay, so I'm going to just trace around the piece. And now I think they should match up nicely. I'm going to go ahead, cut this one out, and then I'm going to finish ironing the interfacing and cut the rest of the pieces. I'm going to set those to the side. I have my front piece and my back pieces. I still have the ears and the face and the arms and the legs to trace. When working with one shirt where there's an identical pattern all over, I like to try and add some variety to the arms and the legs. I find that it helps break up the pattern and just makes the bear have an overall pleasant appearance. So for the arms, I'm going to do them a little bit at an angle. When I'm picking out a section for the ears, I like to try and highlight something that will be visible. So I think I'm going to try and find a spot that has a nice flower that I can highlight on the ear. One of the great things about memory bears, keepsake bears, is how customizable and how personalized they are. There will never be another bear like the bear that I'm making right now. It's 100% unique, and there's something that makes it so much even more special, that makes it even more special, that it is one of a kind, created just for her, and it makes it irreplaceable. Some of the other customization we're going to add to this bear is we're going to add to the foot, we're going to add some embroidery. I'm going to embroider Mama on the foot, and I am also going to make an embroidery heart to apply to the chest. Both of these were requested, and I think it's going to turn out and be a really beautiful bear. There's 3 pieces that make up the face of the bear. There's a center piece, and then there's 2 side cheeks. I like to alter the direction of the fabric, have the side cheeks the same direction, and then the front part down the middle be a little bit different. It gives the bear's face more shape, and I find it accentuates the pattern. So I'm going to look for a nice spot on the fabric where there's some flowers, and I'm going to make sure and try and line up. There is some stripes on this fabric, so I want to try and get the stripes to line up where the mouth meets. Since one of the feet will have embroidery on it, the other foot will be blank. So I'm going to look for a nice flower that I can showcase to be in the middle of the foot pad. Now that I've finished tracing all my pieces, I'm going to go ahead and get them all cut out, and then we'll head over to the sewing machine and I'll start assembling the bear. I'm also going to pop over to my embroidery machine and get the foot embroidered and begin the heart patch. So now that I have the pieces all cut out, I'm going to start up my embroidery machine to embroider the foot and to embroider the heart patch. And then I'm going to take all my pieces over to my sewing machine and start assembling this bear. Okay, I've got the bear all sewn together. Here she is. So you can see I was able to add the buttons and the heart and the trim. I was able to kind of make the front look just like the shirt did before we cut it. And I added the date and mama to the foot, and I'm excited to get her stuffed and see how cute she's gonna be. Whenever I stuff a bear, I like to start with the head and make sure to shape it and fill it completely so that you can see the muzzle, the nose, the head shape, and the eyes. It really makes the bear, honestly, making sure that you have the head stuffed well. If the fabric that you've used is stretchy, you do want to make sure that you don't overstuff because it can distort the appearance of the bear. So let's get started. So when I'm shaping the muzzle, I like to just kind of push the stuffing up there, make sure that it gets all the way to where the nose is, and then I'll fill in the rest of the bear's head. As you're stuffing the bear, you can really see them begin to take shape. You can see her all stuffed. She really is a beautiful bear, very sweet. I'm so happy with the details. I just love how she's turned out. So let's get her all stitched up and then she'll be ready to go home. All right, here she is, all stuffed and stitched and ready to go. All right, that's my video, and here is the completed bear. Here she is. She's so beautiful. I love the way she turned out, all the details, the pattern. She really is a sweet bear, and I'm super excited to send her back home. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button. Thanks.